Hi, it's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and today I'm bringing you my new long-term massive project. So I'm actually really excited about this. Many of you may have heard or may not have heard, but diamond painting is not only a huge, great, big, up and coming craft that many people are doing, and many people will do a kit that comes with the canvas, the design printed on the canvas, all the diamonds you need, the tools you need, and you can just complete. But also what many people have started to do is to take a blank canvas, i.e. like this, so it's sticky but it's just blank, and they are taking a cross stitch pattern and then putting the diamonds onto the blank canvas according to the cross stitch pattern. So I am going to be doing one of those, but I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently. So to show you the design I've chosen, so I've chosen to do a heaven and earth design, which is one of the popular ones. They do give you a lot of detail in these charts. They give you how many stitches you need in each colour, you know, the full dimensions, as well as of course the chart itself. So for diamond painters, let me just show you. I do have the chart bits out here, though of course if you want the full chart you need to buy it yourself, so I'm not going to be showing the full chart, but this is something you can get on the website before even deciding to purchase a chart. So it will tell you all of the DMC colours that are needed and how many of each, which when you're doing it by diamond painting is great, because you need to know how many diamonds to order. If you're a cross stitcher, yes, you need to know how many skeins or you know, threads that you need, but you can just pick them up as you go along, because DMC, the batch lots will always be the same. But for diamond painting, many people will order all the diamonds at once from one seller, and this tells you how many you need, and you can use it to calculate how many bags. So the likes of the quantity of the colours and how many you need of each will all be in here. So I've chosen to do the super sized Little Dreamers tree in max colours. Now there's a few reasons that I've chosen this design, and there's a few reasons that I've chosen to do it in max colour. So join me while I chat through my little project and all the work I've done. I have brought my brew, so I'll just have a little slurp. But there's, as I say, there's a few reasons that I've chosen to do this one. So I wanted to do a design that not only was nice, but that was manageable. Now, I don't work on a big dining room table. I work on a little white sort of mini fold-up table that cost about £5 from B&M, and I pull it out and put it in front of the TV. So I wanted something that I wasn't fighting with a big one, because I was doing it long term. I wanted something a bit more compact. Now, you may not think this is compact, however, it's not wide. So the fact is that I can roll this up quite easily to be able to work on it, and that this size will fit on my table. So it's about 36, I think I said 36 or 38 centimetres wide, but it is then 2.5 metres in length. I like a challenge and that's partly why I've chosen this one. The other reason that I've sort of chosen this design is I'm not going to be doing this, as I say, in the normal way. I have ordered a canvas, I haven't ordered the drills. And the reason being is that I'm planning on using my spare drills. So all the drills I have left over from previous projects is what I plan to do this with. Now, if I was to choose a design, say with a face, you know, a big image of a face which had lots of shading in it, if I had different die lots, it might not show the design as well as it could be if I got all the diamonds from the same manufacturer. So that's part of the reason I've chosen this design, is because I'm using my spares. I may have some colours that are a little bit off according to dye lots. Because this design is so busy and doesn't have a big batch of shading, I don't think it's going to affect it that much. I mean, I'm not even sure if you can fully see it, but it is a tree with little fairies and blossoms and lights and all sorts of stuff. You can go on their website and just search for Little Dreamer's Tree and you'll see a really big image of it. But that's part of the reason I've decided to do this one. So, say a couple of things. I didn't want the shading to become an issue because I was using my spares. I wanted something that I could manage on my little table, but also be big so that it is, you know, a mammoth project, which is what I wanted to do. Then I did order the max colours for a couple of reasons. One is I have seen, if you're interested in any of this, you can go to, there is a web page on Facebook, a group, Heaven and Earth Designs, or HAED, diamond painting, and there is at least one person, if not two, that have done a max colour compared to just a normal colour. So I could have got this with just 90 colours in it, and then the one I've got has 239 colours in it. So of course you can imagine that the actual detail of it is a little bit more intricate, and it does come across a lot better in a diamond painting the more colours you have in these. It does give you the shading a bit better. So that's part of the reason I've done that, but also because I'm using my spares, I would rather have less of a number of colour because then I've got more chance of having it. Does that make sense? I'm going to change my camera battery while I work out, if that makes sense. Okay, battery's changed. I think it makes sense. But just to clarify, so for example, I've got 239 colours in this instead of the original 90 that you could get in a pattern. I think it was 90. Now some of them you don't need many of. So number 340, for example, I only need 2. Some of them I only need 70, 38. Well, if I'm using spares, I'm not likely to have big quantities of spares. I mean, I'm sure the DMC, of which I need 12,000, the DMC 310, which is black, I'm sure I'm more likely to have that amount, but the others, not so much. So by spreading out the number, I'm going to need the same number, but by spreading them out over colours, I'm more likely to find them in my spares, which is what I'm planning to do most of this with. I'm sure I will have to purchase the odd colour, depending on how the design goes, but I do have quite a lot of spares. So this is box 1 of 2. I do have a video on my spares and how I've designed this box and how I keep them, so feel free to check that out. Say that is on this channel. But for example, 310s, I have loads. I mean, they're just unopened bags. I have them loose here, and in fact, look, they just keep going. I mean, there is the odd one of those that are round, but most of them are square. So the likes of the 310 having 12,000 diamonds doesn't panic me so much. Oh look, there's even more still stuck in there, because I do have a lot of spares. However, some of the other weirder colours maybe, or you know, some of the other colours I may or may not have the right amount. So let's have a look. 304, I may not have any. No, I don't have any of that one, but I'm not panicking. 151, I'm sure I've got that one. No, I've not. Okay, it's not a good example. 152, here we go. So 152, I need 1,500. They're rounds. At the moment I have 2 bags. They are different colours, so I'll make the decision when I come to that part which colour I go for, and if I do use them both, I'll use them on different sections. You know, it's not going to be an easy task, this one. It's probably going to be a complicated one. But I want to feel as though these spares that I've got loads of are going to get used. I'm hoping I have the likes of 761 in here, just because I have a lot of those. No, I don't. Oh well. Yeah, so my plan is to try and use the spares as much as I can to complete this diamond painting. I will be doing other diamond paintings in with this. This isn't something that is now my main focus and that's it. I'll be doing other diamond paintings in with it, so colours will come along as I go along. Does that make sense? I know it seems like a very challenging and daft project, but that's the kind of thing I like. Give me something ginormous and let's get on with it. So yeah, if you want to do one of these, you can by all means order all the colours to go with it and do it as a big mammoth project on its own, a big challenge on its own. I'm adding a little extra twist, so I want to try and use as many spares as I can. If I find that I've not got a colour, and maybe I've not got it in diamond paintings kits that I've got in my stash, then I may decide to go and buy a batch of that diamond colour, depending on how the chart goes. I will play that by ear. If I start having too many gaps in my chart, I will probably order the odd one. But you're talking £1 to order some, if that, of colours that I don't have in my spares anyway. So I'm sure my spare stash might not look as though it's got less in by the time it's finished. It may have some more, but it'll definitely have variety. So yeah, this is my mammoth project. I'm hoping you guys will join me along the way. I have my spares already. I have this box and I have another box with at least a row and a half in of the other colours. I have my chart. My canvas has arrived. Now I did have a little bit of a mess about to see if I could get it to show 10 grid lines, and it sort of does. I was doing it on the back of the canvas, but it does sort of bleed as well. I don't think it's giving me the look I want, so I think I'm just gonna mark up the canvas at 10 intervals and go from there. But I have my blank canvas. That cost me about £25, £26 by the time I was done with discounts. This chart was between £7 and £9 in UK because I got it on their 50% off sale. So I have the chart printed, and to show you just the first page, this is my first page of the design, so I'm going to work page by page. I have quite a lot of, I think it's 939, I will need to check, but I think I've got quite a lot of 939 at the beginning. And watch that, oh no, it is in this one. So let's have a look. 939, which is a navy blue. If I take out the round, I have quite a few in squares. They're a dark colour, so I don't think I'm going to have a shading issue. I can't see a shading issue between manufacturers. So that's sort of my first colour. So that will be one that will go into here. And as and when I get more from more diamond paintings, of course, I'll be using more after that. So this is my plan. If you've got any questions, please ask them below. If you think I'm crazy, keep that to yourself. But I'm really interested in starting this. I'm like so eager. I'm waiting for my sticker paper to come so I can prep my diamonds and show you what I'm doing. But I'm going to do a few videos. I'm going to prep the canvas, so I will do a video on prepping the canvas. It's not going to be a huge long one. It's just going to be a few little steps I take to hopefully make this a little bit smoother. And I'm going to see and keep showing you, of course, how this tree turns out. I think it's going to start to look fantastic, and I'm actually really excited to use some of these spare drills and see if I can create something from everything that's left over. Like, isn't that the best way to use everything up? We keep them in case we're short, but it's not very often that we're short, but let's see if we can use them. So yeah, this is the pattern. I may use this partly on the computer as well, because as you can imagine, with 239 colours, there is a lot of symbols, and there is a lot of different symbols. So I'm going to work on this slowly and carefully, and hopefully have a beautiful piece in a huge tree when I'm done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep the canvas. I'm going to sort of grid it up. I'm going to work on 10 by 10 squares. I don't want to cause too much confusion, I don't think, in the way the pattern works. I may do a lot of this sort of colour before going in with the others, but knowing me, I'll want to finish each square before I move on, and plod through and see the design coming up. So I've got my spare drills, I've got my pattern, I've got my storage box, which I'm going to use for this diamond painting. I'm going to transfer the likes of the 939s that I need into these little tubs, and then I can move them about in my storage as and when I need them. And I've got my canvas. So I hope you're going to join me on this epic, should we say, little adventure, and we'll see if we can get a diamond painting out of it that looks amazing. So join my next few videos. I'll get the canvas prepped, I'll get some of my diamonds prepped, and see how we go from there, and let's see if we can start to get a tree appearing that looks beautiful. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to have a drink of my brew before I start prepping my canvas, but this is the design. So it's a very small picture because it's very long. I'm trying to put this as close as I can to the camera, but we've got the skyline, we've got a blossom tree, we've got little windows, little doors. There are little sort of fairies in there as well, and it just keeps going all the way down to the bottom. There is 999 stitches in length, 150 stitches across. Times that together, you have goodness knows how many thousands, and I'm going to be working on 239 colours, which, yes, I know won't all fit in here, but I'm going to work page by page, and I may get a few more of these. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. As I say, I've gone for the max colour because I think it will give me a better image, especially on something this size, and also it means that I will be using less diamonds in some certain colours, which may mean that I get away with just using my spares. We'll see how we go. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all soon.